Hello and welcome to Your Questions Answered with Father Gruner. I'm John Veneri. This is a program where we take your questions, Father Gruner answers them, we discuss them. Continue to send us your comments and questions at the email you see on your screen, questions@thefatimacenter.com. We've been having an interesting discussion about the accusation that Father Gruner is suspended in the previous two programs. If you haven't seen them, I would urge you to click onto them and watch them, where Father Gruner explains that he is not suspended. He personally has never received anything from the Vatican, any formal letter claiming he's suspended, and furthermore, he has it from a Vatican cardinal who said our problem with Father Gruner is not so much his incarnation, it's what he says. So they're using the whole incarnation game as a mask to really shut down what Father Gruner is trying to say. And as you said in the last program, none of this is your material. You're just repeating full message of Fatima.
Yeah, I'm repeating. Of course, I have I have a training in theology. I've got my licentiate and also my doctorate studies, except for the degree, except for the thesis. And I focused on Mariology. So, I thought I understood Catholic teaching on the Blessed Virgin Mary, and I'm sure I do and did. But there's things there that a lot of people don't know, and I didn't know. For example, Mary, what being our spiritual mother means it literally, actually, and that we're generated into the life of grace, and grace is a life, and that we're generated into our soul. But that's beyond this. But my point being is I have a background to understand the message. So when John Paul II says that the message of Fatima, as he said in 1982, the message of Fatima is to be understood in the key that this is our mother coming, and she's concerned with every aspect of our life. I mean, he's perfectly right. Now, I knew the theologian who wrote his speech, but the Pope said it, and he's perfectly right. And of course, so I bring, besides just the Catholic faith and knowledge of the message, also bring a training in the theology to understand this better. And so all I'm doing is just either repeating or explaining what the message said. Now, I've sent this out to, we've published this all over the world. We've challenged other people who disagree with us, whether they're other apostolates, whether they're newspapermen, whether they're anybody at all. We had Giuseppe Di come, who wrote the book with Cardinal Bertoni on the Third Secret. And we got him to admit that he could have been deceived by the Vatican. All I'm getting at is that we have put our stuff up there publicly. We hide nothing. What we say, everyone sees, and we've been consistent for the last 30 years. And obviously we're going against the ideas and the policies of the Secretary of State, not because we're smarter or better than they are, just because we are being faithful to the message of Fatima. This is what he said. It's contrary to their policy and what they're trying to do. So, but they don't. If they took me on, I'm quite willing to say, okay, sit down, have an open, have your best theologians there. Let's discuss it. But no, it's all by subterfuge and attack against me personally.
Well, yes, and there's another story that confirms what you're saying, and that is the story of I'll tell it very quickly. Is the story of Father Papian, that he escaped communist Romania. In fact, they held his plane on the tarmac for 2 hours while they were checking his passport. But he finally got away. He made his way to the Vatican. He and a friend of his, they were both Romanian Orthodox. They ended up in front of Cardinal Vio, and who was the second one? Benelli. Benelli and Vio they ended up with, and they said that we want to convert to the Catholic faith. We come from communist Romania. We're members of the Romanian Orthodox Church. And the Secretary of State told both of them, do not convert. Do not convert to the Catholic faith, because that will damage our relationships, our ecumenical and political relationships with the Romanian government. So this is the type of thing that you face.
But if people don't get the thing, is that it says, the solemn definition of the Church says that neither heretics, nor schismatics, nor Jews, nor pagans, no one can get into heaven unless before they die, they become Catholic. And of course, Catholics have to not just be Catholic, but live according to
live it, yes.
Yes. But my point being that, so here they are telling these people, they've come to the conclusion, they've understood, they've done their studies, that the Catholic Church is the true church, the Orthodox Church is not the true church, not that there's not good men of goodwill in there, but the bottom line was, they came to save their souls, and they say, go back, if they're not there for the saving souls, why do we want to have a church?
So this is part of the new political and ecumenical message from the Second Vatican Council.
And the Secretary of State persisting.
And the Secretary of State persisting in this and really spearheading it and protecting it. And they see the traditional Catholic faith and the message of Fatima as a threat.
Yes, to their policies. But they're the ones that they're going against the will of the Blessed Virgin. They're going against the will of God Himself in refusing to do the consecration, and refusing to give us the whole third secret. And of course, that's what we've been saying. We've been saying, I mean, I'm not saying that no one else can say it better, but we've been saying consistently, we've been saying in books, magazines, we've published over 35 million Fatima Crusaders. We obviously don't talk about everything in every issue, but we've been talking about this over and over again.
Well, it's a really cheap tactic too, because you will say the consecration has not been done. So someone will go to their priest and say, the consecration's not been done. I just read it. Where did you read it? The Fatima Crusader. Oh, don't listen to him. He's suspended. Yeah. And it skirts away from actually dealing with the issues you're talking about and just targets the individual.
Now, someone might, I think it's exactly right, John, but my point also is this, is that if this is just, say, a little squabble about, I don't know, is my border between your property and my property 1 foot over this way or the other? Does these people squabble? It really doesn't matter. No, this is about the most important thing that every man, woman, and child on the face of the earth. We cannot have peace without the consecration being done. We cannot avoid the annihilation of nations without the consecration being done. We cannot avoid those who survive being enslaved by the victors if we don't have the consecration done. This is, so every man, woman, and child on the face of the earth today has a stake in this, the truth of this being known. And as I say to even people who don't believe or are not sure, I just say, listen, what's it cost you if the Pope stands up and says a 5-minute prayer? He gets dressed up, he gets his special vestments on, and the bishops do the same thing, and they all on the same day in a solemn public way, but it basically comes down to 5 minutes of saying a prayer. I, Pope so-and-so, Pope Francis, Pope Benedict, Pope whoever he is, Pope John Paul III, whoever this person is, I consecrate, as requested by the Blessed Virgin, I consecrate Russia to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. And I, Bishop so-and-so, and I, Bishop so-and-so, concur, and they say the same thing at the same time. And it's really a 5-minute prayer. And it will bring about world peace. It will stop, people are paying 25% of their taxes are going into armaments. Just think if you had 25% less tax to pay, because you didn't have to have an army standing in work, because everyone's at peace, all standing armies stand down, they will learn the art of war no more, says Scripture. This is the time we're sitting at. Now you might think I'm exaggerating, but the end of the day is, why not try it? Even, Naaman, when he came, and he was told to bathe in the rivers Jordan, he thought, well, that's too easy, I can't do that. So his counselor said, well, why not try it, see what happens? Would you do something more difficult? He said, yes. Well, try it, see what happens. He does what the prophet tells him. He bathes 7 times in the river, and he comes out as smooth as a baby. His leprosy is completely gone. Well, why not try it? They've tried everything else. They spent trillions of dollars, and they've tried everything, and they haven't got anything. Is we going to keep on trying until we annihilate ourselves? This is ridiculous. This is the message they're suppressing by accusing me of being suspended when not suspended. That's what they're doing. That's the whole game in a nutshell.
So at the Fatima Center here, we just continue going forward with the message in face of all the opposition. And we thank you for being with us on it. And please tell others about it. And we will see you next time. Thank you.